Hey, my name's Austin. My wife Macy and I own Elevation Disc Golf. And today I'm going to be doing 18 holes using my bag, just playing a normal round. I'm going to show you every shot, but I'm going to highlight all the times that I use Elevation discs. I've been playing disc golf for like 4 years. I'm not like incredibly good, but I'm all right. I'm out here at Live Oak Hillside Park in Live Oak, Texas, which is a little bit outside of San Antonio. It's a great course all around, really love it. I also end up using our discs a lot here. There's a lot of sloping ground, a lot of dangerous greens, and beyond that, a lot of tight gaps and tight fairways to hit. So if you don't know what our discs are, they're all made of rubber. We have discs made of silicone rubber. We have OG and newcomer materials. And then we have discs made of natural rubber, including 30% recycled rubber. Those are called EcoFlex and EcoFlop. This is an EcoFlex. The OG in particular, this is our first material, and it's like super flexible. It could easily be bent in half, in quarters. We also have some less flexible options, which are the EcoFlex, the newcomer are both less flexible. It's gonna be hard for me to demonstrate, but they're a bit firmer and hold the shape better in your hand, like as you're throwing and stuff like that. They're really extremely grippy too. Like I've never felt grippier discs. We designed these basically to make the ground play as little of a factor as possible. So the floppiness is going to absorb impact and combine that with grippiness as well. And even when it starts sliding, it's going to grip to the ground and reduce your slide distance. So ideally, this is going to take those shots that are approach shots or tight landing zone shots and make them less scary. You know, you're gonna, instead of having a 20-25 foot comeback putt, you're gonna have a 12-15 foot comeback putt. And that can really make the difference, at least for me. So, you know, for example, I get a lot from a lot of our fans and people who use our discs a lot. They call it their cheat code. It's not really a cheat code because it's within the rules. It's a competitive advantage. So today, I'm going to give you a competitive advantage code to lower strokes from your game just by switching out some discs. So this is probably one of my best drives ever on this hole. I'm not even really sure how I ended up here, but I'm like 50 feet away or so. I putt with the koi. Right now I'm using the EcoFlex Special Edition one because it's got like the floppiness of the OG, but it's got the really grippy texture of the EcoFlex. This is probably one of the biggest things for me is putting with the koi gives me confidence to do like an all-out run and know that like worst case scenario, I'm gonna have a 12 to 15 footer. So here we go. Okay, good start. So on hole 2, I'm pulling for my Arowana, which is a disc that at this moment in time, we haven't released yet, but it is PDGA approved. So depending on when this comes out, could be releasing soon. I don't know. It's a straight to overstable putter. It's going to fly really straight and then fade at the end. It's going to hold up in a headwind pretty good, which we have a headwind on this hole. I'm using it here because we got a tight tunnel with a cactus garden on the left. I really want to avoid hitting a tree and kicking in the cactus garden. We got a downhill slope to the green. So it's pretty easy to go long, especially with a skip or a roll. It's about 300 feet, so it's pretty good rip for me to throw a putter. But I'm gonna give it my best shot, see what happens. So take the birdie here. So we had an okay drive. I hit this tree, pulled it left a little bit, maybe 100 feet left to the basket. We got a downslope behind the green. I'm going to be using my interceptor here, which I think is great for this shot because it really just wants to like fall out of the sky and fade. And when it does, it sits. Kind of a tricky distance, honestly, but hopefully it'll go well. With this downslope and throwing it a little bit far, this could have turned into very far away from the basket. This is like a 20-foot putt. It could have been like a 25, 30-foot putt, which is a huge difference for somebody of my skill level. So we're about 220, 200 feet away from the basket here. Got a little bit of a low ceiling, got some wind to deal with. So I'm gonna try to throw the EcoFlex interceptor hard. It should stay pretty straight and then have a little fade at the end. Well, I think the wind turned it over a little bit, but looks all right. So yeah, here we are. Gonna try to make this putt for birdie, we'll see. Here we are again with a short comebacker. You know, it's kind of uphill, so you probably would have a short comebacker no matter what, but this guarantees the shortest comebacker. So here we go. Almost missed. So made it about halfway to the basket. But this is what I really love the interceptor for, the OG interceptor on forehand. I can run the basket and not be worried about it going long. So anytime I'm in an open field, like an open shot, I have room to throw my forehand hyzer, I do it. I've made a few of them, I've missed a lot of them, but the comebacker has always been easy. So obviously that wasn't high enough, but still got like a 10-foot putt for my birdie. Okay, so that was really early, but we're halfway there. So it kind of sucks that I threw my drive into the ground, but I got past all the hard trees to get past. So here we are. It's like a 60-footer. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but again, I'm giving it a run. Now again, this was a 60-foot putt. Came in basket high, and here I am left with like a 15-footer. So right here, I like to use the Koi as my driver. The EcoFlex for that added stiffness. Feels good in the hand. It's just so good for those like gradual turnover shots. So hyzer to get through the gap, flip up, turn over a little bit, hopefully be by the basket. So this one always feels like it should be easy because it's like the most open hole in the course. But I've only birdied it like twice, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad, I don't know. I'm about 100 feet away. There's a downslope behind the basket. So again, floppy disc really comes in handy here. So I'm gonna give it another little run with the interceptor. So I left my run short again, wah wah. There's a hillside down here and this is like the hardest dirt around. So just a chance to say in my head, like I can give this a run is totally worth it to me. So here, obviously there's so many trees. I'm gonna try to throw a little touchy flex line with the interceptor and hope for the best. Okay, That was not turned over enough, but pretty lucky. So like I said, pretty lucky to end up here, even though I didn't turn it over enough. It is in a thorn bush, but if you've ever been to Texas, there's a lot of thorns, just like all over the place. It's like the Australia of America. Everything's trying to kill you. So this is awkward, but we're gonna go for it. Okay. Not bad for being stabbed while I'm putting. You guys see this right here? Look how long that is. Look, that's ridiculous. Here we go, using a different color this time. All right, Texas may have a lot of thorns and scary plants, but they also have a lot of deer. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. Goodbye. I'm gonna throw the arowana a little hyzer. I'm not trying to go very far here. Just hopefully giving us a shot for a par. Third shot with the arowana, went super straight, faded nicely, and now I'm about 200 feet away. I'm gonna try to go interceptor here. It's uphill, of course it's bending to the right, and we're gonna hope for the best because there's a lot of danger here still. Come on, get right. Sweet, okay. So as I'm walking here, I've heard a lot of people say, you know, they buy our discs and they say it's too floppy, like they can't throw it. I would say the best advice for you, if you're that person, just like start with shorter throws. Start with like 100-foot up shots, then go on to 150, then go to 200. Don't just grab it and immediately throw it as hard as you can, because that's when, at least for me, you know, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but for me, my form falls apart when I try to throw as hard as I can. And these discs will show you when your form is falling apart, especially the OG. The EcoFlex, not so much. It's got that extra bit of stiffness. I would still recommend throw it softly at first and build your way up. But I think overall, like, it could correct issues in your form, make you smoother, and overall be better for you. So if you're that person, says they're too floppy, can't throw it, try to throw it softer, work your way up, and I think it'll be worth it. This was my approach with the interceptor from like 200 uphill, and we are like, you know, close, like 10 feet away. So this is another one that I like to drive with the koi on. It's a 200-foot hole, but the basket is like on a downhill, like a steep one. So I'm gonna go with the koi here, my floppy one, just to prevent as much ground play as possible. So here's where I ended up. I don't know if I hit this tree, but this is another case where even if I did hit the tree, the floppiness of the disc is gonna reduce kicks. And you know, that also could have been the difference between getting a bad roll or just being in a bad spot and having a birdie putt. Okay, we got another koi drive here. It's like a 212-foot hole. This one's a really fun one for me because you really get to let the disc do what it wants to. And throw a nice turnover that just holds and rides down the hill. Come on. There we go. Okay. Not enough Annie. I know there's a lot of pro content out there, so if you're still watching, thank you. I appreciate you sticking with me as I just am like a normal disc golfer playing around with disc golf. Not making like every circle 2 putt. All right, pretty good drive. This one's kind of like it says it's a par 4, but it's kind of a par 3, just like a long one. So we got a putt for eagle, I guess. Eagle, maybe. Come on. Just over the top. Again, feel free to run it. worth it. Come on. Yes. So this is the first appearance of the Binks today. This is one of the hardest holes on the course. It's not a super long par 4, but the fairway is 20-30 feet wide the entire way, and it's just lined with the smallest, like tiniest little dense trees. Basically, you just want to stay in the fairway. With this, hoping for 0 ground play. I'm also hoping if I pull it to the right a little bit, it'll hit one of the trees and get like a very soft kick back to the middle. Get under it, okay. So I hit this tree right here on my drive and kicked left, and I mean, look where this thing ended up. I'm like a foot away from being off the fairway. Like, knowing that I'm getting the least tree kick, the least ground play possible, like I can't possibly replicate that exact shot with a hard plastic disc. But if this is reduced ground play and I'm a foot away, I would have had to have been in the bushes. So that's that competitive advantage right there. Going with my arowana on my approach. It's a little tricky. Again, this is a hard one. Come on, you're lucky. That's kind of lucky. So this time we got like a 50-footer, maybe 60-foot. So let's run it. Come on, fade. More. Again, pin high, and we're like 5 feet long from 60 feet away. So here we are, hole 17. If you've stuck with me this long, I've got a surprise for you. A sneak peek at a prototype disc. I've been working on it for like 6 months now, so I really hope it's going to be good, but it's a really overstable fairway driver, so I'm going to try to use it on this hole, but I'm going to go forehand with it, see what happens. Some intense fade. Probably could have thrown it harder, honestly. So definitely could have thrown that harder. We got like a 30-foot putt left. Come on. So I'm definitely excited about that new disc. Flies a lot like a Fireball from Axiom. Just like super overstable, so reliable in a headwind. Never gonna turn it over. Really great forehand and overhand disc as well. I'm not very good at overhands, but I have friends that are, so that's all I know. So my mic turned off right here, so I'm gonna voice over what I said. But basically, I'm using the Binks here. The hole goes up a hill, has a plateau, and then goes downhill. There's definitely some danger on the left, a little bit on the right. So I'm using the Binks here to avoid ground play and hopefully just stick on top of the plateau. So here's that competitive advantage again, guys. Like from here, it's in a great spot. Just like a foot further and you're like either on that rock or you're behind this tree or you're in all this mess. Next time you play around, do me a favor. Next time you play around, you just count how many times you wish your disc would be like even just a foot away from where it was. Like a foot back on the fairway, a foot like away from a tree. And that's the difference that we're talking about here. It could be a foot. With our discs, I believe it's more than a foot that it saves you in ground play. That's why we want people to use them to help you guys, you know? No one wants to be in this tree. No one wants to be in these spiky bushes in Texas. So we're about 200 feet away, downhill, basket's on a slopey green. I'm throwing the interceptor forehand. I'm honestly not even thinking about the slope here. I'm just trying to get basically as close to the basket as I can, run it if I can. Obviously, I'm not very good at that, but like if I was, then there'd be a good chance to do it. So here goes. Get under that. Nice. Oh, just over the top. So again, I came in just over the top of the basket, giving it a run from 200 feet away on like a slopey green, and I've got 10-footer left. And if I was like 15 foot away, I would have missed that because that putt sucks. So I need every foot I can get, really. We're trying our best out here. So here we are, hole 19. This is basically just like an ace run hole slash the practice hole. So I'm just going to be throwing all my elevation discs, hoping for an ace for the outro. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you liked this. Let me know if you want to see anything else specific. You have direct access to the designer of the molds and my wife, the designer of a lot of like the colors and the stamps and all that. So please ask us whatever you want. Thanks for tuning in. I'll try to get an ace.